So I'm making this video today about the Genius circuit. Whoever designed this circuit was an absolute genius, and I'll tell you why. His boss came to him one day and probably said, "Hey, I want you to come up with a circuit to have 4 switches, but you can only use 2 wires." At that point, the engineer probably wanted to go beat his head against the wall. So let's talk about this Genius circuit. Here we have a Fender foot switch. You see it has 4 switches and a bunch of LED lights. So you can see if we hit a switch, the channel select changed on the amp and the light came on. Turn it off, the light went off, channel select changed back. Drive 1, drive 2, you don't really see anything on the amp, but you can see this indicator change from drive 1 to drive 2. Push the effects on and you have the effects lit up. And reverb, you get both of those LEDs. And granted, it's all in 2 wires. So let's take a look at what's coming out of the amp. So we have the amp, just basically we're taking the output straight from the back of the cord to the amp. And you can see we have basically 11.42 volts AC. If we go to DC, at this point we're looking at a negative 1.85. All right, so let's plug the pedal back in. So what we've done is we've wired the input, and we have one input going into the pedal and the other input going to our voltmeter. So just looking at our voltmeter, as we press the switches, I'm set on AC, and if I press channel select, you can see that voltage change to 6.1. With it off, it's 3.8. Drive 1 is 3.8. And when we go to drive 2, it dropped down to 2.1. Effects, 5 volts and 3.8. Reverb, 5.9 and 3.8. So let's look at DC now. With the drive 1 on, we're at negative 2.8. And we push drive 2 on and we go to negative 1.3. Channel select, negative 4.8, negative 2.8. Effects, negative 1.5. And reverb, we throw the reverb on, it goes down to a 0.70. And that can change no matter what the switches are. But it's still a mystery. It's still, how in the hell did they do this? How in the hell does that have anything to do with what's going on in the amp? Well, you have to go look at the schematic. You realize the guy was a freaking genius. And like anything else, he probably didn't get credit for his work. I tried to find out who invented this, and I can't find anything. So it was probably some guy that worked at Fender, and like I said, he knew what he was doing. And when we get to the schematics, I'll explain exactly how that works. But this guy knew what he was doing. He probably didn't get credit for it. It's like anything else. If you have a good idea, somebody's going to steal it. If they have more money than you, just like the intermittent wipers, they take you to court, they beat you up, and you lose. I've been in electronics 40 years, and when I saw this circuit, I'm like, that's genius. So let's look at the situation. Normally you have one circuit per switch. So you turn the switch on, the light comes on. Turn the switch on, the light comes on. So you need 4 switches to control 4 lights. So this guy's boss came to him one day and said, yeah, I want you to use 2 wires. You gotta make 4 switches work with just 2 wires. And the guy probably looked at him like, are you crazy? But then he came up with it. And it was like, well, real American heroes, Mr. Fender switch wiring guy. 4 switches, 2 wires. Unbelievable. So let's go look at the schematic. And the schematic will tell you why Fender foot switches are not interchangeable, because they're all built differently. If we go look at the schematic, I think this is a schematic for, not my amp, but I think it's a Fender 100. But you can see we're applying a voltage AC across a resistor. So this was approximately the 12 volts AC, somewhere around 12, whatever it was. It may be different on different amps, but for our amp it was 12 volts. For this amp, I don't know what it is. But the AC comes in, and you can see it goes over to the center pin over here. Sorry about that. AC comes in, goes to the center conductor, then goes out to this center conductor. And you pull this down, up to this center conductor, and goes across this circuit of diodes. So normally a diode is going to drop about 0.6 volts. So we would have 0.6 volts here, 0.6 volts here. This particular red diode is anywhere from 1.8 to 2.7. The one I have in my circuit is 1.8. This is a Zener diode, and it's in reverse bias to the positive voltage coming down. So that means it's going to drop 2.7 volts. So that's going to be 2.7 volts, and the last red diode is going to be about 1.8 volts. So, with that being said, let's add them up. You got 0.6 and 0.6, it'd be 1.2 plus 1.8 plus 2.7 plus another 1.8. So we have 10, 25, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. About 7.5 volts. So then these are the switches. So they're actually active when they're off. That's how you get the red light and the red light on the reverb on this one. So they're actually active when they're off. When they're on, they short everything out. So when they're on, both of these are shorted to ground, and you only have roughly 0.6 volts across the whole circuit, because that diode's going to regulate it. And if you think about it, you have this 750 ohm resistor, which is this puppy right here, across this diode, which is dropping about approximately 0.6 volts. So you're going to have 0.6 volts. And another interesting thing about the circuit is, if somebody were to short this out, this resistor is going to take the whole 12 volts and not be a hazard to anybody, and it's not going to be a hazard to the equipment. So interestingly enough, this diode is just going to drop 0.6 volts, and that's what you're going to get on the other side. Now, when you look at the other side, that's where the genius comes in. This is a regular comparator circuit, okay? So this is the inverting input, this is the non-inverting input. So basically what's going to happen is if both these switches are down or shorted out, you have 0.6 volts. Well, guess what? You come in across this diode and it's going to drop 0.6 volts, so you're going to have 0 here. Now, if you have these lines open, you're going to have a positive voltage on the inverting input of the comparator. And basically the way a comparator works is the higher voltage wins. So if the higher voltage is on the inverting input, it's going to come out as, if it's a positive voltage, it's going to come out as a negative voltage. If it's a negative voltage, it's going to come out as a positive voltage. So they have the non-inverting input tied to this reference. There's going to be a reference on here. So this reference is going to be higher than this reference to put the output out. And notice that the output only has two states. It's either negative 14 or positive 15. And positive 15 is reverb off and negative 14 is reverb on. So if we go and look at our reverb, reverb off is going to be with the higher voltage across this thing. It's going to be at least 2.7 plus 1.8 volts. Plus whatever, you know, because 2.7 plus 1.8, let's say the effects is shorted out, it's not on. So we have 0.6, so it's somewhere around 5 volts. So on this breadboard, I've actually built this half of the circuit. So we have a 1N 4148 here, another one here, a LED, a Zener diode of 2.7 volts here, a LED here, and these two lines reflect our switches, and right now both switches are closed. Okay, so we're going to assume that both these switches are made when we first look at this. So we're going to turn on our AC voltage, okay, and we're going to look at our input on our AC voltage, and it wants to be real persnickety right around. It wants to jump from 9 to 15. And it doesn't matter. I'm going to leave it at 15, 16 volts because I'm just trying to demonstrate how the circuit actually comes up with the voltage. So we're going to go to DC volts now and move our lead to the output of here. And we can see, okay, basically both this is shorted out and all we have is one diode. This and this is shorted out and all we have is this one diode. So with a 12 volt input, and we have basically just constructed this part of the circuit going into the meter. So we have a Zener diode, a resistor, and a capacitor. And that's what we're reading the output of. We have the Zener diode right there, and it's not going to pass anything unless it gets up above 10 volts. So it's more or less a protection thing. So all we really have is a rectifying diode that comes in across this resistor and is filtered by this cap. And we're reading what a diode is. So it's 0.51. Or 54, I'm sorry. 0.54, somewhere in that vicinity. Okay, so now we're going to simulate this effects circuit. So we're going to pull the ground from this point, off of this point or this point. And voila, look at that. We have the diode lit, indicating the circuit is on. And notice our voltage. It went to 3.3. So with this shorted out, and we got 1.2 across the diodes and about 1.8 across the, roughly around 3 volts. So you have roughly around 3 volts. And on that particular circuit, that's the effects circuit. I don't have the effects part of the comparator up, so we're just going to know that that turned on and went to 3.3 volts. So we're going to turn it off. There, we've turned it off by putting that short back across it. Now let's go to the reverb portion of it. You see this is counting down because I have this cap on here. It's a 22 microfarad and it's supposed to be 0.22, but it doesn't matter. It's just a filter cap. So now we're going to turn the reverb on, which would turn this part of the circuit on. So right there, we see that the reverb LED came on by opening up the switch, and we have about 5.7 volts. So if on this side of the circuit we have 5.7 volts coming in across here, and 5.7 volts is higher than the reference, it's going to invert and come down. The positive is going to invert, and look at this, it's going to go to negative 14.1 VDC, and the reverb is going to be on. Turn it off, the light goes off. Turn it on, the light goes on. So all you have to do to duplicate, say you don't have a Fender foot switch and you want to make one. So all you have to do is go to the internet, pull down the schematic of the foot switch. Here we have it. And basically just duplicate the foot switch on a circuit board. I'm going to go ahead and turn my thing off. But like I said, if I had a diode, this is a 4148. So I'd put that there, put the next one in. So again, the next one, put my LED in there. Put my last diode and my LED in there. Or you can hook the LED up to the panel. But if you get one of these circuit boards, once you have the map, which is the actual foot switch itself, you just put the diodes in the right places and you could create your own foot switch. So you can go to the internet and just basically type in the model number of your amp or the model number of your foot switch, and you'll come up with the schematics. If you look up the images, you can find the image that you need to create the foot switch. And then you can go to Amazon and buy a Zener diode pack for the diodes that you need. And you can also get red LEDs, green LEDs, whatever you need. And you can also get the circuit boards there. And you can see my video on enclosures